I got 10 years to fill a stadium, but only 2 minutes to fill your cranium. Humble the poet, signing in. So one of the important things when it comes to making videos on YouTube is light. So my entire life is based around, will it be sunny today? Can I shoot a video? Will it be cloudy? Do I need some other source of light? That's why you keep seeing different backgrounds. I'm experimenting with that. You know what's scarier than Halloween? Marriage. You already know my feelings towards marriage. And if you don't, click on the little eye over there and you can watch my video, 3 reasons not to get married. But for those who still want to tie the knot, jump the broom, take 2 souls and mash them up together, have you considered an arranged marriage? Hell no, humble. The only thing my parents are arranging in my marriage is payment. I guess that would have made more sense with money. Arranged marriages are oppressive. You can't marry a complete stranger. That's ridiculous. Actually, my handsome friend, arranged marriages are a lot more common than ridiculous. And here are 4 reasons why you should be open to them. Now, let's be clear. And you know, every time I make these clarifications in my videos, people still ignore them and comment below. I'm talking about consensual arranged marriage, where everybody involved in the marriage agrees to it. If you are currently being forced into a marriage, then you have bigger problems and you should not be on YouTube right now. Sort out your life. Number 1. They address taboos. Dr. William Cornell, who's a marriage and counselor professor at the University of Florida, said, being in love is not a good reason to get married. It's about the long haul. So unless you live with somebody beforehand, it's tricky in a romantic relationship to look at some of the practical things that may come in handy when spending the long term with somebody. And by long term, I mean the rest of your life. That gave me the heebie-jeebies. Those practical elements include stuff like money, family health history, education, worldview. Are they Team Jacob or Team Edward? With arranged marriage, you're kind of going through a resume process and looking at a lot of these practical elements before you even meet the person. And that does a great job of addressing these things before our emotions and feelings get involved. And that can significantly reduce incompatibilities. Because as much as the fairy tales want to lie to you, love is not a glue strong enough to make a long-term marriage last. You're gonna need some practicality to hold that together as well. Number 2, less expectations. For anything in life, having less expectations is always a better thing. And because you're not sure what you're getting into in an arranged marriage, you by default will have a lot less expectations. This will also put you in a position to be pleasantly surprised by your brand new, fresh out of the box spouse. Are all those surprises going to be wonderful? No! Since it was an arranged marriage and you barely know the person, you'll be a little bit more open to figuring things out, as opposed to finding out that somebody that you've been dating for 8 years was a whole different person. True story, y'all. Number 3. Common priorities. I say it all the time. All relationships, romantic or not, will be successful based on common priorities. An arranged marriage can mean that everybody involved all shares some of the same priorities, which is to make this marriage happen and make it successful. And in that case, that means the marriage might take a front seat to everybody's individual needs. So if you're both in it with the goal of having a long, successful marriage, as opposed to something selfish like, you know, being happy, well, those common priorities can be a solid foundation for a lasting marriage. Which leads me to number 4, lower divorce rates. I'm not going to start a debate on this, but the numbers don't lie. Why are divorce rates in arranged marriages so low? There could be plenty of reasons. Maybe people who are down with arranged marriage aren't as down with playing the divorce card because it's not a part of their culture or beliefs. Maybe because an arranged marriage involves the whole family making the decision, a stronger family bond is made, so there's a bigger purpose to the marriage than somebody's just individual need. Maybe having your whole family intertwined in this marriage is more of an incentive to stay together. This is like the universal sign for marriage now. It's just like 2 people barely holding hands. There are numerous reasons. And again, the numbers don't lie. And there you have it. If you're crazy enough to actually want to get married, don't scratch the idea of arranged marriage off your list. But at the end of the day, it's about what's important to you. If having a long-lasting, functional, and practical marriage is important to you, an arranged marriage may be the way to go. But if other stuff is important to you, like being happy and in love and shit, then maybe not so much. Does love conquer all? Or is it better to have a more practical approach? At the end of the day, it will be that age-old debate of emotions versus logic. You know, my goal is simply to shine light on different perspectives so you can see things from different angles. Because some people just aren't exposed to certain ideas. But you need to decide for yourself. Oh, and one more point. My parents had an arranged marriage. And because of that, they had me. So yay, arranged marriage. Without one, this beautiful beard would have never existed. Thank you so much for watching. As always, please comment, rate, and subscribe. If you like the things I say or the way I think, do check out my book, Unlearn, get yourself a copy at unlearn101.com or Amazon or Barnes & Noble or anywhere else that sells books online. If you don't want to pay for shipping, or you don't want to wait for it to arrive at your house, or you just don't like reading, you can get the audiobook where I read it to you in my sexy, mumbly voice. And that's also available at unlearnaudio.com. I will be making an announcement about the new book in the middle of November. Currently finishing writing it up. I have a deadline for the end of next week to turn it in for editing. Then we're working on the cover, and I'm so excited to share this with you. And then my goal is to have it out at least for pre-orders so people can be given this out, signed copies of the book, as gifts for Christmas. Thank you so much for watching. As always, please share this with somebody that you care about or somebody that you don't. Much love. And there is a huge difference between opinions and facts. For starters, and I find myself saying this way too often, you don't get to make up your own facts. So when dummies on Twitter say stuff like, she must have done something to deserve it, or he wouldn't have done it if she was white, those are both simply opinions, and you should not take them as gospel. And just because somebody has a strong belief, it doesn't mean it's true.